Hey, hello, welcome back. And if you're here for the first time, you're alright, mate. It's Unikronn Gaming, and we're back to another 2D Sunday-ish. I'm going to be looking at SilkWorm today. Very brief history. SilkWorm was developed and created by Tecmo and was released in 1988. Obviously, a year later, it was ported to stuff like Amiga, Atari ST, Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC, and I think the NES as well. Yeah, and the version I'm going to be using today is the Arcade Archives version. So I'll be playing that version and talking about the arcade version and my history with this game, my nostalgia for this game, and how I think it fares today, basically. So yeah, so let's get to it. Don't pick the Jeep. Just don't do it. Don't pick the Jeep, okay? Helicopter only. This is a two-player game. Don't pick the Jeep. Okay, this is a quick summary of how to play the game. Just got some screenshots. You can pause it and read it. Basically, especially in single player, pick the helicopter, don't pick the Jeep, and you'll have a great time. Okay, first up, I'm going to talk about the graphics. They're alright. They're actually okay, especially for the time period 1988. Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad at all. Obviously, I'd have loved more parallax scrolling, but to be honest, I think the Mega Drive spot me parallax scrolling. That's the thing I just loved about 2D games. But I mean, this game's got two planes, so it's not too bad. As in planes of background, not as in flying planes. So yeah, the background graphics, they do change. The time of day changes as well. It's not bad. It's not particularly varied, but I suppose it's more functional, I would say. Yeah. So it's not too bad. It gets the job done. It's not as spectacular as, say, some of the Gradius games that were out, or say Saint Dragon on a visual scale, but it's okay. I will say that your helicopter, don't ever pick the Jeep. The helicopter doesn't necessarily stand out enough in some of the backgrounds. It's not punchy enough because of the green color that they use, and also the enemies are often the same color, as you can see, the same hue of green. So that can be a problem. But overall, they're workable. They're workable. Decent graphics. Like I said, parallax would be nicer, but it is what it is there. In my opinion, I feel that the sprites are a bit too big for the space that's available to you on screen. There could have been, the helicopter that you control could have been a bit smaller. I'd say, I think it would have been that, but I mean, this is not some sort of bullet hell shooting up, so that it has that in its favor, but I just feel that the main sprite you are, could have been a bit smaller, due to the amount of real estate that we have here. So yeah, and same with some of the enemies actually. Some of them are just a bit too big. It does have a little bit of slowdown, obviously that time period, because he's trying to throw a lot of stuff out there. So yeah, what I do want to talk about now is just some of the mechanics. So let's get into that spot where we start talking about the mechanics, and then I can talk about sound and some other features that I do like about the games. But I think the most important mechanic I can talk about comes next. Your shield and smart bomb mechanic are very simple. Basically, you see stars, those green stars. You can shoot them, they turn silver, and then you shoot it again and they explode, taking everything on the screen, just hits it. What smart bomb? You can actually fly into it and use it as a shield. Think of it as Sonic when you've just got the stars around you. You're invincible for a certain amount of seconds. So yeah, that is basically that mechanic. Very simple, but it's a big part of the game. Some other mechanics, your power-up systems, obviously you shoot certain enemies and they drop a twin, which gives you, double shots or double missiles. And you can also get a downward firing, I'm going to say that's a machine gun, that fires at a certain degree. If you're playing one player mode and you're the helicopter, do not pick the Jeep. You can't fly too low, so you can't crash into the ground, but you've got that downward machine gun, so it's not too bad. So yeah, that's basically it for the mechanics, and you can just fly around. There's no speed ups. That's it, unless there's something I'm missing. And obviously, I think you get certain amount of points, you can get an extra life. So yeah, that's in the game as well. There's no health system, one hit death, like all some of the hardest shoot 'em ups there. Okay, that was that realistically for the mechanics. There's nothing much in there. Oh, obviously there are bosses. They come at the end of the stage. I think it's only about 3 or 4 different types, and they just repeat. So tanks, helicopters. I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else there. There might be one other thing, I don't know. But that's basically what they are. Just before I talk about my history with this game and the sound and playability, I just want to say, well no, actually this is part of playability. There's one thing that annoys me about this game, it's the only real thing. Some of the enemy bullets, as you can see, they use a lot of white. And sometimes you just can't distinguish it between your shots and sometimes the background, which can be really annoying. As you can see here, these massive jets are coming off, obviously off the aircraft carrying background, which is cool. But I'm going to get hit here by something when I push it back, I noticed there. But when I was playing, I didn't see them. I think the enemy shot should always be a different color that stands out so you can see it. So definitely not the same color as yours. Because obviously I rewinded it, I'm playing it back here in slow motion so you can see what I mean. It's going to be obvious in slow motion, but at the time, I didn't see these two shots coming from behind the helicopter and then hitting me. You can't have white missiles on a white cloud. Oh God. Okay, so the sound is below average, let's be honest. It's most of the same tune repeated. Changed a little bit for the boss. The pew pews are a bit weak, but I suppose that they're adequate for the game. They're nothing spectacular at all. The explosions you're alright as well for the sound effects, but nothing. The sound would be getting like an average at best. If it was on a grade scale, I'd be like 4.5 out of 10 or something like that. If I was grading, but I'm not grading, so it is what it is. But the sound is probably the weakest part of the game, to be brutally honest. Okay, so my history with this game is that, to be honest, in East London, this game was everywhere. I mostly played it at Carroll swimming bars when I used to go swimming in Leytonstone almost every Sunday. It was there, it was like 10 or 20 pence a credit, I believe. Yeah, it was after Double Dragon, so it was a 20p credit game. I wasn't very good because I'm just not good at shooting ups anyway. I'm just rubbish. But for some reason, this game was just, it stuck out to me, and I just liked it. Even though I was crap, I just liked playing the game. Don't pick the Jeep. Yeah, the helicopter was cool. We moved around fine. I didn't have to worry about any collecting speed ups. It was just a fun, good arcade game, and I got really good nostalgic feels for it. It's just, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. Yeah, so it's a fun game. I'm playing it today now. It looks basic as hell, don't get me wrong, but it's still fun. I mean, sprites are overly big, but at least there's more real estate. They didn't put some artificial ceiling in there that you can crash into. So yeah, it's a fun game. I know later on, I think part 4, one will be called Swiv. That was really popular, especially on the Amigas and stuff like that. So this got at least, what, 4 parts? So yeah, great game. I haven't played anything else in the series, but this still holds up to me. It hasn't crushed my nostalgia. It's great playability. Do not pick the Jeep. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.